Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to a new video. So today we're going to be doing something a little bit different than normal. So go ahead and subscribe while you're at it and turn those notifications on so you don't miss when I post a new video. So today we're going to be talking a little more about the idea of creating a productive workspace. Okay, so today we're talking a little bit about the idea of creating a productive workspace for while you're working. And while there are a lot of different ways to create a productive workspace, there's also a few key ideas. And we're going to get into that. So, with that being said, roll that intro, let's get into the video. Okay, so desks, no matter how big they are always a chaotic nightmare. We never really know where to put stuff, our desk always feels too small, and there's never really a rhyme or reason to how we have our desk set up. I struggle with it right now obviously as well. I have a monitor here, a laptop here, an iPad here, a keyboard, a stand. Like, my desk is chaotic. When I mean chaotic, holy cow. And it's just really hard to organize a desk in a way that you think is really the best. But how do we get past that? And then how do we maximize what we have? So obviously we can't always have the biggest desk in the world, so how do we maximize that? So today we're going to be talking a little bit about that and a few other things as well. So we have 5 main areas we're going to talk about today. Our computer background, because that makes a really big difference. Our computer desktop layout, like on screen, what our desktop looks like. Our desk layout, which also still makes a really big difference and really important. And then also our desk orientation and lighting. So those are our 5 points. Let's get into it. So number 1, our computer background. Now this sounds like it wouldn't really be that big of an issue, and it probably doesn't seem that important to a lot of you, but I assure you it is. So if you're thinking about a desktop, right, and I'll throw a screen up here of my desktop right now. If you think about a desktop, it really determines how we see our desk. So if we have a really busy wallpaper, things are going to look a lot more chaotic and less organized. If we have a basic wallpaper, it's going to seem a lot more plain, a lot less interesting. So for me, what I do is I take an image, like this one here actually, and I will say, okay, this is going to be my wallpaper, but here's why. So let's just take this wallpaper here. So I'm just going to pull it up on my iPad so I remember what it looks like. And basically, this wallpaper is very pink. Let me find it. Yeah, so this wallpaper is pink and it has waves on it, right? Now, why did I choose this? Well, I chose it for a couple reasons, actually. One being it's clean, so it's not going to be taking up a lot of space. But also, it is very bright, it's very energetic, it has a very vibrant and bouncy energy to it. I don't really like using the word energy, but it does. It has an energy to it. And so if I'm looking at a massive, like, 27-inch screen with that on it, it's just going to kind of lift the spirits a little bit and kind of motivate you and wake you up, if you will, as opposed to having, like, a plain white or, like, a picture or something very chaotic. So wallpapers have a really big thing to do. And, I mean, there's whole studies about how colors affect things. Obviously, red is better in dark because it doesn't affect your your eyes as much. And then there's, like, the springier colors, like colors that people use for, like, boosting morale, boosting spirits when people are suffering with, like, depressive episodes and all that. So taking that into consideration when you're choosing wallpaper, I think is really important. Let's go on to your desktop organization. So you can obviously just have your desktop completely strewn with files and folders and all that, but if you don't actually organize it, it's going to be a nightmare to find stuff, and it just looks messy. Now, my mom's a prime example. Sorry, Mom, for calling you out, but she's a prime example. Absolutely no organization. She has thousands of folders on her desktop, and it's insane. They're like double stacked. She has files everywhere. There's no organization. So when you're trying to find something, it's, where do I look now? It's not, oh, I know this is in this drop-down folder, in this subfolder, with this name over here, over there. That's how I like to keep mine. Now, you don't have to keep it organized how I keep it. I'll show you a screenshot of what mine looks like. But I think one thing that really helps here is using Apple Stacks. And that's something that they implemented a couple operating system editions ago, but it basically you can turn it on and it'll basically sort your desktop based on file types. Not necessarily the folders, but if just individual files on your desktop, it'll organize those. And it's really helpful. So I have my PDFs, I have my videos, I have my audio files, I have my pictures, my PDFs, I think I already said that, screenshots and the like. And it just keeps everything right there. So if I'm looking for one that I know I didn't put in another folder, I can just open up the screenshot tab and there they all are. or if I know I have a PDF just on my desktop, I can find it right there. And so this really helps me also, especially being a college student, writing papers all the time. I'll find them, export them to my desktop, and then I know exactly where it is. Okay, I exported it here, and I have it also sorted based on time. So when was the document created? So I can go under my desktop stack, and I'm like, oh, okay, it's my most recent PDF in that stack on my desktop. And there it is. I can just drag it and submit it, and it's just really fast, and I really feel like it speeds up the process. And then once I'm done submitting it, of course, I can go ahead and go into that class folder in my college folder on my desktop. So it was desktop, college, class, and then I can just go and put it there just for archival purposes. But this really, when you can organize your desktop and keep it so much cleaner, really helps, I think. So I'm actually going to go over to my desktop real quick. So as we see here, obviously the lighting just changed. Sorry, because I was using an app for some light. But if you look, I have images here. So I have images in there. You can go take a screenshot, but then I can close it, and then I have my PDFs, and then I have my screenshots, and then I have all my folders. And again, these are sorted based on day of creation, and it just really helps me keep a lot of things organized. Now, one thing that I did do a little bit differently, you will notice, is everything's an alias. There is a reason for that. That reason being that I like to back a lot of my stuff up to iCloud, but I can't because my desktop is 5 terabytes. So I should keep all the alias folders, and those are linked to a different folder within my home folder that doesn't back up to iCloud. Now that sounds like a lot. We'll get into that in another video. That's a little more out of the scope of this video. So we've talked about the desktop. We've talked about our computer backgrounds. Let's talk about desk layout, because that's something that's actually really important. So when you're looking at a desk, how do you want it organized? Well, we read from left to right, so I think it's important to keep your desk set up left to right, because that's just how we look at things, and it just makes a lot more sense that way. So for left to right, I have a desk here, and then I have a shelf over here on the left side of my desk. And so underneath that, I have like my Thunderbolt dock, my USB dock, and on top of that, I have my third screen. Now, my third screen is an iPad Pro. We'll get into that in another video, but as I'm looking across my desk, I have iPad, laptop, screen, and then my desktop monitor. And this really just helps keep it clean. I have my 3 screens. I can shove stuff between all 3, and it just keeps it a lot more organized and a lot more systematic when you're just doing things. You can drag stuff. It just looks a lot cleaner. Now, there's different ways you can do it, obviously, but just being able to keep your desk clean is really important. And so for me, I also have to keep my laptop screen actually more level with my monitor. I have it on a laptop stand that's then glued to my desk, and that actually gives me another productivity hack I'll get to. So it's suspended probably 4 inches above the desk, and that gives me time to put my full-size keyboard directly underneath it. Gives me more space for working on documents if I want to write or draw, and it just really opens up the desk just a little bit more. It's really cool how this really opens up space on a really small desk. Now, on this little shelf over here, again, I have my iPad, but I also just have other things I use a lot, like my wallet. I have some AirPods, a battery for my camera, and that kind of thing. That really just keeps those things I use all the time just right here. So I mean, AirPods, battery, bike lights, wallet, and it's just all right here that I can use really fast. I don't have to go like digging through drawers, because me, I like having everything instantly accessible and not have to go digging, because then I lose motivation and I just don't do anything with it. So keeping your desk organized. Another thing with keeping your desk organized is cable management. Now, cable management is so crucial, but so many people let it go. They don't do anything about it. For me, I love having my cables beyond organized. I'm kind of obsessive about it at points. Right now it's not great because I'm still working with a couple ideas as far as setup, but having them zip tied, clamped, twist tied, whatever it is, to like your desk legs really cleans up the area, and then finding a place to shove like your power strip is really great. So for my desk, again, I have 3 shelves on the left. Underneath is where I keep all my cables. So I have my power strip there, as well as like all the excess cable just kind of wound up and shoved there out of the way. I don't have to see it. Is it perfect? No. Could it be better? Definitely, but I don't really care. So just keeping all the cables. I'll put up a picture on the screen now, actually, where you can see like how the cables are all organized. Everything's zip tied, everything's short, but it also gives me room to move stuff around on my desk. So I'm not completely out of room. It's not like I don't have any slack on any of my cables. It's just more organized. So another thing that I find useful is using as much wireless stuff as possible. Now, I use a Magic Mouse. Love me or hate me for it. I use a Magic Mouse. Love it because of how effective it is, but also it's Bluetooth, and I already had it. Now, you could get another Bluetooth mouse like an MX Master 2, MX Master 2S, 3S, whatever. Get the mouse you want. I would really highly recommend using a Bluetooth mouse. Their batteries never die, especially if you get a rechargeable one, and it keeps another cable off your desk. Now, my keyboard's also wired. I want to get a wireless keyboard, but again, money, college student, don't have that, don't know what it is. So my keyboard is wired. I got it for free. But if you can have as much wireless stuff as possible, it gives you a couple things. One, keeps cables off your desk, so it stays a lot more organized. 2, They're usually smaller if wireless. 3, it's one less thing to plug in, so you don't have as many like USB ports. And 4, again, it just gives you that flexibility of moving stuff around all the time. So that's a little bit look at a desk and how to organize that. Let's get on to desk orientation. Now this is something that's actually really important, and so I really stress this. So if you let's take anything away from this video, take this away from it. Desk orientation matters. Now, why? Well, for me, I kind of live in a black hole in the bottom of a basement, so I don't really have a lot of options as far as natural light sources, but I do a lot of stuff with headphones in. Like, anytime my roommate walks in, I've got AirPods in. They're always in. I'm always listening to music. I'm always listening to something to keep me occupied, focused, whatever. And if you're facing the wall, people can't get your attention. So if I have my desk 90 degrees from the wall, perpendicular, and so I can still see around the room. I can see if my roommate wants something, he can wave, he can flash a laser at my screen, which actually really works, by the way. And he can just keep my attention, like grab my attention like that if he needs anything. It just makes it a lot more productive, a lot faster, a lot less worrisome about like catching me off guard or something. So that's really helpful. I would highly recommend keeping your desk perpendicular. Now, if you have a natural light source, of course, put that behind your desk, so in front of you, because natural light streaming down and everything makes everything so much better. It's better for your eyes. It doesn't get you as tired as quick. It's very rejuvenating, and you get some good natural light. And even though we're not plants, we still benefit from natural light so much. You get your vitamin D. So if you can, face towards a natural light source and stay perpendicular to a wall. That's something I find very helpful. Now, speaking of staying in front of a window if you can, lighting. Lighting is so important, and this room lacks it severely. We have, as you can see, like right here actually, we have some string lights that go around the room, and that adds enough light, but this room could do with so much more light. Now, something that I really hate is just your basic light in the middle of the ceiling. They're awful, the color is terrible, it really makes you want to just scream and punch your face into a wall. We call them cancer lights where I'm from because they just look awful and they just make you cringe and die inside. If you've seen some of my videos when I was in my other college where I went, those were cancer lights. They're just like the big tube lights in the ceiling. They're awful. They do terrible things to you. They make you want to scream, and so lighting really does matter. So like for this video, I have obviously monitors, but just having a way to get better natural lighting is so crucial. Just what I want to talk about in this video, again, we have your desk layout, your computer background, your computer layout, your desk organization, where it is in the room, and lighting. So that's really the key points I want you to take away from this video. If you found it useful, be sure to subscribe, comment down below what you want to see in an upcoming video, and be sure to check the links below for all my social media accounts. Those are all there, and the website. Now, quick thing about the website. The store is open again, so you can buy hoodies, you can buy products, you can buy all sorts of stuff. So be sure to check that out in the links below. You can also see below where you can buy all the stuff I use in this video, like camera, monitor, desktop, everything. You can see all those links linked below as well. And while you're down there, go and hit the subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications. It doesn't cost anything, and you really won't regret it. I promise you that. So with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Be sure to check out my social media where I post constantly, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take it easy, fam. Peace.